basically like if you know the person you're with is not good with a whole lot of stuff and they're not financially whatever. However, you still end up being pregnant. Should it be right in the case to put them on child support?
I'm not going to say if it's right or wrong, but I do think that you're supposed to, as parents, you're supposed to know who you're making kids with. My first two children, I'm not saying their dad was a horrible dad. He just removed himself so he wouldn't negatively impact his children. I can appreciate that. And in doing that, it made me comfortable enough to be like, hey, let me make sure you get yourself together, because when I love my children, I love them wholeheartedly. And the only way they could be happy is if you breathing, you healthy, you doing what you got to do, you come into business. You can't do that if you back child support $50,000, $60,000, and you can't pay your bills. I don't believe in that. But I am also the mother to a stepchild. And I do believe that if mom or dad is able to kick it and buy Jordans and don't make phone calls for birthdays or stuff like that, I feel like, hey, that is what child support is for specifically. It's not to just be like, hey, dad's got to do what he, like you knew what kind of guy this was. A lot of women don't even have babies by people who don't even want kids. So they're not prepared. They're not ready. These people aren't, you can't make somebody do anything, and that's one thing I've learned. I don't want to force you to do anything. And that includes love my children. If you love them, you're going to take care of them. I'm not going to force that. I don't believe in forcing child support. My child is 13. Her sister's 12. I haven't had child support. I'm not going to ever get child support. I'm sure of it. But, that's something that it really just depends on the stability of the parent with the child. If you're capable and I'm slacking, you're supposed to be able to jump in. If not, so be it.
Okay, so this question came from a matter of someone basically letting someone know that I do not want kids. However, I'm going to still come over your house. I'm going to still have sex with you raw. I'm going to still make it seem like I want a whole family. But they actually physically told you the whole time that they did not want to have kids. And at the end of the day,
that's bitter.
And at the end of the day, she put them on child support.
Because that's bitter. Look, let me tell you this, and I'm not talking about bitter. She's bitter. He's bitter. There's no way that you can lay with somebody every day and have a consensual, unprotected sex with them and say you do not want children. We're all adults here. We know how the sperm works. We know how the egg works. You can't sit up here and say you don't want kids.
So do you? Okay, right. But so do you feel that if they're saying that and the mother is open to having birth control, do you think that she should have been on birth control during all of this?
Yes.
Or do you think that she should have not? Because it's two ways you can handle this. You can either stop dealing with the person because you want more, or you can go put yourself on birth control, whereas you don't have to deal with the aftermath if it doesn't go that way.
Right. But it touches bases with what you said earlier about knowing what you want and who you want around you. Look, I know for a fact I want a husband, I want kids, I want a successful business. So if I run into somebody that I so happen to like, and you're not about family, you're not about building, you're not about any of them, it's my job to protect myself. I can't depend on you to protect me. You don't want kids, but you're trying to have, okay, well, maybe I should get some birth control. So everybody's allowed to, we can do a little thing, you know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do.
Right.
But let's not risk a lifetime of heartache.
And the child suffers.
A lot behind it. A lot behind. If people will realize who they had kids with, their lives would be a lot easier. I don't argue with my kids' father. We don't have that type of communication, because guess what? I knew who he was when I gave him babies. I knew exactly who he was. So for me to expect anything differently is a fault of my own, and that'll drive somebody crazy.
And then you're hindering that person from growing because you already knew what he was about.
Yes, and you're enabling them as well.
Yes, and if his intentions are good, the intentions is the thing. So we have some facial expressions as well as a hand, and we're going to go with Mr. Nick Mathis on the hand first, and then we'll go with Jennifer on the facial expression. So, okay, go ahead, Nick. You have to unmute your phone.
I must say it like this: as far as the child support thing. And these days, child support is like a felony. It's like the equivalent of a felony in a lot of cases. And to the whole putting the granted, you can put a father on child support, but these days the state picks it up. And this is just I'm speaking from my own personal experience. The state does pick it up. If that mother gets any type of link, temporary assistance for needy families, a medical card, any type of assistance from the government, they looking for their daddy to pay for that.
His half.
They looking for him. Huh?
His half. The state wants him to pay his half. So if I get medical insurance through the state wants you to pay your half, and I think that's fair.
Your half? I ain't never heard of half.
It's half.
We ain't never heard of half. If they ain't look for no half, they'll never take half.
It feels like
they'll never take half. Nick
they don't take no half. They don't no half.
It don't feel like
I've been doing this for 12, almost 13 years. Trust me, and they'll never be looking for no half. But I mean, like on a serious note, like they, I mean, you have parents that that could literally. I think it's a lot of it's just that point of communication. If you sit down and communicate, and it also comes down to, like she said, dating. Dating a person. A lot of people is just, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I'm gonna be at your crib by 8.
Right.
You bringing the Douce, or I'm bringing the Douce? I'm gonna bring the Douce. Now much later,
your mama
you don't even know anything about each other, and now it's just you creating another. Not only you creating a baby, now you creating a responsibility that neither one of you never knew that you wanted to deal with.
Well, you know what though? I don't really feel that I'm not against the I think it should be educated on child support before you actually put the person on child support. And the only reason why I say that is because it's like if you can actually just sit down and have a conversation, I feel like it should be co-parenting classes or something before you just jump into child support. I don't feel like everybody, but I do feel that child support is put in place because there is men out here that do what they do and then stick and move. And then they don't want to have the responsibility of what they set aside for. I mean, if you telling this woman you want to be with her and you love her and everything, and then you have a baby by her, and then now you want to stick and move with somebody else, and now you don't want to take care of your responsibility, I feel like that point right there, it should be either you're going to co-parent, or if you cannot get that through your mind, then you should move on. And child support should be in place. And when I say child support, I don't feel like child support should, like he said, it's a felony. I don't feel that it should be such a negative thing over child support. Like if you're taking care of your responsibility, why does it matter how it comes? That's what I'm saying. Like if you have a child, I got kids. 2 kids is not with my husband. If I'm taking care of my responsibility is making sure my kids are good, and you're taking care of the responsibility and make sure our kids is good, we good. But if I'm doing all the work and you out here doing everything you need to do with everybody else and you're not, and you still cannot come in on one accord with this, then yes, I feel like child support should be right there. But
do you feel like it's the same way for women who trap men? Women who have babies and decide they're going to leave their children with men, because I've had this conversation with another woman, and she was like, well, she needed to get herself together, or maybe, but she's not present. And if she had a set of bowls, you guys would be putting on child support and all those other things. So I really want to know what you think. If it was a female who's like, you know what, I ain't really want this baby.
I'll put on child support real quick. No hesitation.
Nick is like, you know what? Everybody get no child. You got a kid. You got a kid. You on child support.
And you on child support. But I get what you're saying. I get everything that y'all saying, because I think when it comes down to child support, it's the intention. You got people who are doing it because it's necessary. Because the father won't do his job. You got mothers who don't want to put their fathers on child support, but the state is trying to send you letters forcing it because you both are in the bind. He's trying to find a job. You are unemployed. Right. You're trying to find a job.
That is true.
Those are real situations.
That
and
is
then you
true.
have situations where you have mothers who have made a career out of it. Like literally,
Yes.
oh, I'm gonna put you on child support. Like they at the public aid office the next day after they took them pregnancy test. They'd already got the paperwork pre-filled out already. Like
I'm with
they,
you. Now that's abuse. Now that's the reason why I say
agree.
that there should be classes or some type of knowledge, some type of something to bring, like before you get them papers, before them papers say it's child support in place, it needs to be two people sat in a courtroom or in a mediation like you do for divorce and say, okay, this is what this person wants to do. They want to put you on child support, and we're going to take such because they have custody. The child stayed in their custody. So then you can sit down and you have a mature conversation about what you're going to do, and it's documented that's going to happen. That's what I feel should happen before you put it on child support. And I feel that a lot of young women get the idea of child support from older women that feel that they already know how the system works, and you better put them on child support for another parent put them on child support. Now, the question that you asked me was, what about the woman? I feel like if at any point any human being needs time to themselves and need a break, and the other parent can take over the responsibility full time, I feel that they should be able to get on their feet in 6 months. If at any point after the 6 months you do not get on your feet or attempt to be mentally and physically and financially stable to get your child or to financially take care of your child, now that's a problem for me. Now we need to take other steps to get this done, because it's not all about money. Because if I take care of my child full time, however, I need somebody to pick the child up, I need somebody to watch the kids until I get off work. You should be able to do that. Now, if you can't do that, what can you do?
Hey, I say if you can't do that, just stay away. Sometimes no presence is better than presence at all. I don't need for someone to placate my time, or you want to be here because you're being forced to, or if you can assist, you can. If you can't, I say be married, because there's nothing you can't force people to do anything. Like I said, as far as the divorce thing, I agree. I've been divorced. I love the process it took, because it made me really question what I was doing, what steps I was taking. And okay, are we serious? Okay, we're serious. Yeah. Okay, this is okay, I owe this much on that. Oh, you got to split bills. I feel like if you're gonna create a human, whether you choose,
it should be steps.
But
there should be steps, and they all shouldn't be able to allow. I don't believe that you should be able to put a man who has a newborn child on child support. They haven't had the opportunity to be the father or flourish in that position, in that title, for you to say that they're not capable.
It should be examples. Yes, just like it's paperwork needed for you to be able to take a child away from their parent. I feel like it should be steps on when you should be able to put someone on child, because
you gotta touch on the fact that a lot of, it's like the new thing these days. Oh, you can't see your child unless you pay child support.
That's horrible. That's child abuse.
Holding the baby hostage.
I feel like you should go to jail.
$52.
I feel like you should go to jail.
You can't. Black people need to educate themselves. I just had a client he's trying to, that's why we're talking about that publicity. He's trying to open his business, but he has a baby mother who's just constantly, crying. I'm like, you know what? You can't do anything about that. You can't force anybody to do anything, and you can't make them shut up. You can't do any of that. The best thing you could do is put your best face on every time that it's brought up to you. So like when you in court, I'm sitting in court and you're like, okay, well, he's 6 months old and he ain't bought no shoes. No, like, girl, he don't even wear shoes. Baby ain't want no shoes, no diapers, none of that. But she can live. She's surviving. I've watched a woman get up, make $4,000 a month and quit her job so she can get some money from her kid's father. We have to raise independent women. We so used to raising Black women to believe that they need to have they don't need a man, that's what child support comes in, instead of letting them just be fathers. Let them be a father. They don't know how. Let them be one. I'll never understand child support in some cases. I don't see how women get it in a lot of cases, but more power to you.
I'm not against child support. I'm not.
Me either.
I just feel like it should be steps taken. When in case that happens, like it should be like a checkoff list before you can actually file the document. And I also feel that once you get on child support, you can get off of child support if you have made a change in your life, because some people have, they're young, they don't understand, what's what, and they say, okay, well, I'm better now. I knew better. I did better. And now I'm better. You don't have to take the money out of my check every month. I'm going to give it to you. However, but again, even if it is taken out, I still feel like if you're still living at the end of the day, you're still giving the money to some. Like, that goes back to who your spouse is, who you lay with. If you lay with somebody that is a gold digger, a manipulative person, and just all for themselves, they're not going to try to work with you at all. So of course you're going to think that what you doing with my money? You know what I'm saying?
They don't even see that money though. Depending on what they got, stuff they got from the government, whatever. Like at one point, if you got TAMF, you had to do like a program, a little part-time program or something like that. If you got TAMF or any stamps or anything, like women had to do that. But now it's just like you won't see. A lot of women don't physically see that cash given to them is being taken from our checks. They don't necessarily see that money. You may see it when you file taxes,
right,
and so forth. But at the same time, you don't really physically see that money. It'd really be a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we have yeah, we have facial expressions. I want Jan, I want you to tell me how you feel about this. I know that you don't have children. However, the way it sounds and you doing, you getting older and having children and moving toward that, like how you're shaking your head about the whole thing about the child support. What is your aspect on it? Because I want to hear how someone feels that don't have kids. And it might sound crazy, like you don't have kids, so why would you? It's because she's going to have kids. So if you're going to have kids, let me know. You're not. Jennifer, you told me you want to have some babies. Why you don't want to have no babies now, Jennifer?
Because I don't want to be 40 years old chasing a toddler. I don't want to do that. I do not. But I can understand, the child support if, you are needing the help, and if you can do it on your own and they don't want to do it, then do it on your own. But as far as like using the child support to like hold the kid hostage and stuff like that, I don't believe in that. I think that is so wrong and that is so ignorant for some women to do that. Like,
see, and the thing is, the reason why I'm asking you with no kids is because at some point in time, when you don't have kids, some people still feel that, oh well, if you can't do this, then yes, I'm gonna get you on child support when they don't even have kids yet.
Right.
So to get them the mindset from someone that don't have, I want to know how you in the future. Do you feel that's something you would do? You know what I'm saying? Because you will be amazed at how many people feel that they're going to have kids to get the people on child support so they can live. Literally, child support, food stamps, the medical card, like government assistance. They see how it works. You already have a lazy mentality right there.
Right.
So with that lazy mentality, I want to know if you don't have kids, you think so is that you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, so you do that then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. Right. So I'm sorry, we got kicked off. Nick, did you have anything else to say? I'm sorry.
No. So I ain't got no say.
Nick say everybody on child support. Put them on child support. I don't care. I understand how you feel, Nick. I know Nick like I'm gonna take care of my kids. You ain't got to take money.
We had this conversation before a while ago. We had this conversation, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna walk off. I don't even want to partake in this conversation.
I understand.
I get the benefit. I get the purpose of it, but being on that side of the table, it's like once you own it, it's like people label. They label you and thinking like literally, my daughter's here. My son basically live here. Like everything in the floor is his. Toys, clothes, everything. And you think my kids actually live with me, but because they stay so close to me, they're at my house all the time. But at the same time, yeah, you got me on child support, and in other words, it doesn't really bother me at this point. Sometimes it do. I just be like, yeah, whatever. But for the most part of it, like my kids here, I do for them outside of that. I don't let that stop me from me personally putting something in their hands or personally doing for them.
Okay. So Nick, I want to ask you this for your personal experience and everything you got going on with the child support thing. I want to know, so when it all came about, what was the reason she put you on child support?
I don't know. I just got a letter in the mail.
So you just got a letter
in the mail. I just woke up one morning and there was a letter saying show up
Because
to
it
court.
sounds like you're a great dad.
But
okay, so if you just got a letter
now with my son's mother, she wasn't working. Wasn't working. One was on them type, that didn't keep a job at the time, couldn't keep a job, crazy attitude, don't like to listen to nobody, quit a job, whatever. And it was just like she had, the whole, when they had the temp system, they get what, $500 a month or something like that, up to 5 years or something like that from the time, and then you get a WIC on top of that. To her, in a link card, that's a good time. They're like, that's freedom right there.
Okay. Okay, so basically
like them threatening them to cut it off. She kept on pressing me with this letter.
Okay.
Like, they're gonna cut it off, Nick. They're gonna cut it off. And I was like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm already on for one. You think I'm about to sign another? You got to be crazy. Like, but somehow I did sign it, but somehow they end up still finding out because I signed my name on birth certificate.
Okay.
And because I signed my name on the birth certificate,
you automatically
on child support.
Right.
They really don't need the mother to put you on it. Huh?
Okay. What you say, Miss Mosey?
No. I was gonna say they don't need mom at all anymore.
They really don't need the mother. They don't need the mother to put you on it.
Baby daddy.
Okay, so basically, you signed a birth certificate. Yeah. They sent her a letter stating that, okay, so you were on public assistance when the child was conceived and we paid for all of this. Where is the child's father? And you signed a birth certificate, so they went after you. So when they went after you and she seen how much she can get, she didn't stop it. And she actually signed it and made it so it go through, correct?
That's because
they don't need her to sign anything.
No, yeah, you do.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, she
she has to. No, okay. So the part that she doesn't need to be there anymore is the part.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how it works. You said the baby. I'm on public aid because I'm pregnant. Okay. They paying for all my medical bills. You are non-existent at this point because they don't need to know who you are. When you get to the in the hospital and you have that child and the father comes and signs the document saying that this is my child, that is only guaranteeing that you are not going to say that is not your child in the future. Okay. So once you sign that document has your name on there. You sign all your information and that's just stating that we know who the father is. Now the government is going to send the child's mother a letter stating that you basically ran up all of this because we've been taking care of you all of this time.
Invoice.
Right. And then once they say, okay, well, this is your part. We're going to continue to take care of you because you have the child. However, we need to know who the dad is so they can take responsibility of their part. Now, it's up to her to actually sign that document and give who you are and where you are. Because just because you sign that birth certificate and say, I'm the child, does not mean that you just signed your life away to get child support. Yes, they can start coming for you, but she can also write a letter stating that you guys have actually came together and actually coincided and have everything in order. They don't need to be in there. And once
mine ain't like me like that.
Right. See, that's why I wanted to know how it happened because she did not do it. And it literally, yes, it was her because I know I dealt with it. My oldest is on child support and I know for a fact that that's how it went. Okay. At my point in time, that was a point in time that it was no communication at the time that I could not, say, okay, well, no, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But looking back on how it was, And if I did not get the wrong information from people, I would have not put him on child support. But I do know, because I didn't put the second father on child support, and you know what I'm saying, because I just don't. You on the child life, she happy, period. But that was her. That was not them. You do have a say so once you do that, you still have a say so. Ain't no such thing as the state picked up nothing when it comes to child support. Only time they pick up something when it comes to child support is and also, you can actually go down to the child support office and tell them that
I was about to tell him.
I made my child's father, had me and him got back together. He in a child's life. You don't have to do child support. You know what I'm saying? Once you do that, you have to stay on it though, because that's people doing their job at that point. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that was her. Yes. So with that being said, now we have came to the realization on why Nick wants everybody on child support. And why he says child support is a felony, so everybody gets a felony.
Right.
Okay. So
exactly.
So yes, and I am so appreciative to them. Thank you again for coming on the show, Ms. Mosby. Excellent. I appreciate it. Can you tell everyone where they can actually find you so that they can reap all the benefits of what your Black excellence can provide for them?
Right now. Okay, so my website is creatingsimpleprofits.com. We take bookings. All of my bookings are free. I just want to have a conversation with you guys and get to know you. My phone number is 773-234-2455. I'm always available and always willing to assist.
Yes. Okay. So with that being said, I am bringing all of my beautiful Biscuit panel to the screen, and I want to thank you guys so very much for blessing my stage of just excellence. Today's show was just one to remember, and I really appreciate it. I could not have done it without you guys. I also want to say that if anyone wants to purchase a Miss Biscuit adult drink only glass, please reach me. All of my information is everywhere over social media. You can find me everywhere, like literally everywhere. I'm available. So with that being said, I would like to thank my Biscuit panel. And remember, everyone has the tea. I'm the only one that brings the biscuit with it. So with that being said, see you guys later.